played at some very, very big teams: Inter Milan, Manchester United, Arsenal, Rennes. How have you seen the tactical and football analysis change from the time you were a player to now?
I think to go deep into the technical side, I think now we see the football has changed towards the shift is towards high press, towards counter-attack, recover the ball as fast as possible. It became more of a chess game than it was, before it was more like free football. And now there is so much emphasis into the tactical approach from the managers, from everybody on the technical side of the club, that it's different.
And from a sports management perspective, what technological tools do you use these days that probably weren't available back as a player?
I think towards the end of my career, we were wearing the device at training. We had cameras on top of the stadium, so it started, but now the data is even more, I wouldn't say accurate, but you have access to more data. That's it. And it's affecting the game in a way that some clubs and some managers love it. Some don't consider it as important as others. So it's a tool, it's there. Some people use it, some not that much.
And now in the game, you see players having wearable technology, so that the player and the clubs can analyze the personal performance. Is that a positive, and is that going to be more of the future, or do you think it actually impacts? It's not a true showing of a player's ability or performance.
No, the ability. I mean, you can wear as many devices as you want and get as many data as you want. The end goal is to impact the game. Whether you are a defender or if you are an offensive player, you are given a task and you have a game plan. And wearing a device and telling you if you had that many intense run or that many recovery run or this type of movement, it's not going to it's not going to improve your brain as a football player and your decision maker, So it's a tool. It's very good. It's very useful. Whether you are at young in the academy or as a pro, it gives you an update on your stamina and your physical performances. But when it comes to football, play a pass at the right time, in the right space, understand your colleagues, your teammates' movement, no data can give you this. You have to learn by yourself.
And you've been coached by two of the modern greats of European football, world football, Sir Alex Ferguson and Arsene Wenger. How did they utilize data?
So it came after 2010, I would say, or even before. As soon as companies were starting putting cameras on top of the stadiums, then data could be pulled out of this. So it was used either it was individually or collectively sometimes, but it wasn't every day in your face, because football remained a sport, football remained fun, and when you go too much into data analysis with numbers, with graphics and stuff like that, it's too much.
You could lose the player. Lose the player, as in from mentally, like, I have to do this, 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 rather than a more free-flowing approach to the player.
Yeah, you don't. I wouldn't say you lose the player, but the interest. You spend an hour and a half on the pitch. You don't want to spend 30 minutes analyzing your data every day. So once a week, to go back on your performance of the weekend, it's good. But every day in your face, I think it will become boring for the players.
So the right balance for you believe, maybe half an hour, 1 hour a week, maximum, rather than all the time, right?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. How do you see artificial intelligence reshaping talent identification and youth development in the future?
I think we haven't seen the full scope, I think what's going to be important is to be able to access the accessibility to all these devices and new technology. If we look at Europe, okay, every club can maybe fund it. But again, some confederation like Africa would be most likely be deprived of this technology. So I wish that everybody can have access, because everybody should benefit from these new technologies.
And which emerging technology do you think is going to be a disruptor to the football industry? For example, like how VAR has been so far.
I don't see anything in the next few years being the gadget, the new toy for coaches, for academy directors to say, okay, we need absolutely to have this technology. I think, we're not there yet, and I think it's a good thing because football needs to remain football.
And we're obviously at the summit to discuss the future of football. What would you like to see in football? Is there something in another sport that you like, that you think, football should have this, or something similar?
I don't know. There is a few experimentation on the roll-on substitutions, but that's not technology. What else?
Oh no, anything in general. It doesn't have to be technological.
Yeah.
It could just be the future of football. Like when you say roll-on, as in the style of NFL, where a player can go out and then come back in again.
Yes.
And they can. Okay, fine.
Yeah, basketball. Yeah.
Yeah.
There is some experimentation about that. So that could be one thing that potentially would come into place in big tournaments at some point. Because what you want to have is you want the game to keep on going. That's why implementation of balls on the side of the pitch was put on. And that's it, really. You want to enjoy the game as much as possible.
And you, as part of your work with the FIFA Player Voice panel, what technological advancements do you think, or changes, can be made to combat racism in the game?
We should be looking at having devices to capture the sound of the voice of the players on the pitch more. Okay, you have the referee, but the referee to cover that big pitch is not enough. So maybe the linesman also could have microphone and capture the sound, because we can identify fans being racially commit racial abuse. But on the pitch, we've had incidents. One being George Weah in the past, being insulted constantly during not one game but several games. But it's one word against another person. So if the referee can't catch the incident on the moment, maybe the sound could reveal this infraction.
Now, I want to touch on something that's kind of been the breaking news this week. Previously, as work as an agent, what is your take of the Mohamed Salah situation? And how would you deal with something like that now, if you were still working in that environment?
No, I think the main problem is that if you have some grieving and something you want to tell, you just knock on the manager's door and have a chat, man to man, face to face. Don't use the media, the social media, or your agent or family member to make these comments on your behalf, because you're in the stage in your career. You are a grown man, and that's it. This is pretty simple, Go back to the basic, not make drama. You want to say something to your manager, go and have that conversation. Even if it's hard, you need to have it. Go direct. This is the best advice I could give.
And did you always have managers that you could always go to if you felt you had an issue? It was easy for you to go speak to a manager, and then he would lay it out for you, and then you'd respect the decision or not, and then move on from there.
It's never easy, I think, because you respect the person in charge, is in command, and maybe sometimes you don't want to hear the truth. You know, you had a bad performance and you deserve to be on the bench to give someone else a chance. But no, I felt okay with all the managers. I could have a conversation with them.
And finally, as CEO of Elevate Sports Agency, how has technological advancements and changes in the game shaped the way you evaluate a player and help make players' decisions better?
You know, I've been working with scouts that had only a booklet and they were taking notes. And now the new scouts, they've got iPads and tablets.
Slides.
And there's so many metrics now that can be used for everybody, whether it's at the youth level or for the first team. It's been helping everybody for sure. It's not. It's a plus. It's a good help. It shouldn't be the defining criteria to sign players, because also the mental aspect, the behavior of the player is very important.
The human aspect is very
human aspect.
Yeah.
The social aspect, the relationship with other players, with the managers, that can define a career.